This is the Week in Review for TheTrumpet.com, Friday, January 6th, 2012. The Muslim Brotherhood, the terrorist-affiliated party leading in Egypt's elections, will never recognize Israel, according to its deputy leader. In an interview published by Al Hayat newspaper January 1st, Dr. Rashad Bayoumi said that recognizing Israel is not an option, whatever the circumstances. We do not recognize Israel at all. It's an occupying criminal enemy. Bayoumi said the Muslim Brotherhood would not negotiate with Israel. He also said, the Brotherhood respects international conventions, but we will take legal action against the peace treaty with the Zionist entity. He indicated that Egypt would hold a referendum on the treaty once a new government was in place. The Muslim Brotherhood is close to victory following the final round of voting in Egypt's elections for the lower house of parliament held Tuesday and Wednesday. On Monday, Iran finished off 10 days of naval exercises near the Strait of Hormuz. Iranian political and military leaders said that they would shut down the strait if Iran was hit with sanctions. A United States aircraft carrier strike group entered the area, and Iran responded by actually closing the strait altogether for a total of 5 hours on Saturday by announcing long-range missile tests. No ship entered the Hormuz Strait until Tehran said the test was over and, in effect, gave its permission for the waterway to be used. A few hours later, the Iranian Navy said it hadn't fired any missiles after all. After the exercises ended, Iran warned the U.S. not to send its carrier back through the strait. This nation's provocations are getting bolder and bolder, in keeping with its push prophesied in the book of Daniel. German media is mounting a strong campaign for Germany's President Christian Wulff to resign. A scandal involves a real estate purchase the president made before his appointment. It has been made worse by the president's subsequent treatment of certain German journalists. Wulff was appointed as the nation's president in June 2010 following the resignation of Horst Köhler, but Wulff was widely unpopular even then and may now be on his way out. Such an ouster would be another blow to Chancellor Angela Merkel, who handpicked Wulff to replace Köhler. Meanwhile, we will be watching one man in particular who may fill the president's shoes if the post becomes vacant: Edmund Stoiber. Stoiber is credited with helping make Bavaria Germany's most economically successful state. Stoiber has a large network of influence and could emerge in German and European politics in the future. Greece will have to quit the euro if it doesn't receive the funds for its second bailout. That is what government spokesman Pandelis Kapsis warned on Tuesday. The European Union has already agreed in principle to a 130 billion euro bailout, but it is requiring Greece to cut public spending and sell off government-owned companies to get it. Even Greek Prime Minister Loukas Papathimos flatly said on Wednesday that without an agreement and further funding, Greece faces an immediate risk of an uncontrolled default in March. A Greek exit from the Eurozone is looking increasingly inevitable. China has increased its focus on its space programs, possibly part of a strategy for global supremacy. That's what the Eurasia Review said Tuesday. China's latest 5-year plan on space exploration that was published last week mentions the words peace or peaceful a dozen times. But nearly every major facet of the strategy has crucial military applications. One expert said the concrete details of the plan all point toward gaining a strategic advantage for Beijing. China's space initiative boosts its technological advancement and also gives it increasing soft power in developing nations as it launches satellites for smaller countries. China's space power is rising at a time when America's is declining. As China's power has increased, South Korea is bolstering its defenses. Over the past 20 years, Beijing has increased its military spending an average of 16% per year. In 2010, China ranked second in defense spending with almost $92 billion. Western analysts believe China's actual military spending is 2 to 3 times larger than its official figures reflect. South Korea has responded to the buildup. When China launched its first aircraft carrier last year, Seoul began developing a supersonic anti-ship cruise missile and a fleet of small submarines capable of maneuvering undetected in shallow waters. Since the mid-1990s, Korea has developed advanced Aegis destroyers and purchased early warning aircraft. North Korea said on Sunday that its 1.1 million-man military will expand further under its new leader, Kim Jong-un. As the trumpet has stated before, the current Asian military buildup is largely due to tensions between Asian states. But watch for a surprising turn of events in which these Asian rivals suddenly unite to fight a common enemy. On Thursday, President Obama and Pentagon officials announced they would slash defense spending by billions. Military officials said they will pull back from Europe and downsize both the Army and the Marine Corps. In a rare appearance at the Pentagon, President Obama said America is turning a page after pulling out of Iraq, easing away from Afghanistan, and killing Osama bin Laden. The overhaul is intended to cut hundreds of billions of dollars from budgets and recalibrate American security priorities after a decade of post-September 11th wars. President Obama promised that although the military will be leaner, the United States will maintain its military superiority. The abortion rate in New York City is more than double the national average, according to data released by the local health department on Thursday. In 2010, 83,750 pregnancies were aborted in New York City, which was 40% of the total. Among African Americans, 60% of pregnancies end in abortion, and for the city's pregnant teenagers, that figure is 63%. That means that for every 1,000 babies born to New York's teenage mothers, 1,684 were aborted. That is the Trumpet.com Week in Review.